In distant times, in the heart of the picturesque village of Ai, lived a princess unlike any other. This is the story of Ego, the firstborn of the powerful King Chida. Despite her royal lineage and the beauty she radiated, Ego faced a challenge that isolated her from all the men in the village. Ego, with her majestic bearing, was often the target of cruel comments and disapproving glances. It was not her noble origin that attracted attention, but rather her robust body that the villagers judged mercilessly. While her younger sisters were courted and celebrated, Ego found solace only in dance. In her movements, she expressed the joy and pain she kept locked in her heart. In the solitude of her dances, she felt a freedom that the outside world denied her. But the weight Ego carried was not just physical. It was a burden of loneliness and rejection, exacerbated by a deep desire to be loved for who she truly was. Her parents, King Chida and the Queen, tried in every way to find her a husband, but all their efforts were in vain. In this solitary journey, Ego faced not only the mockery of others but also her own doubts and fears. She questioned if she would ever find someone who could see beyond appearances, someone who would love her dancing soul and generous heart. This is the story of a princess who defied expectations, who sought love and acceptance in a world that is often cruel to those who are different. It is the story of Ego, the daughter of King Chida, who found her strength in dance and her courage in the hope of being truly loved one day. Stay with us to discover how Ego's life transforms into a tale of love, loss, and redemption in the next part of this thrilling saga. In a world where judgment and criticism were her constant companions, Ego found solace in dance. Away from the biting looks and malicious whispers of the village, she allowed herself to be free, to express herself, and to find happiness in each graceful movement. As her feet glided over the leaf-covered ground, Ego felt the weight of the world disappear. Dance was her secret language, a way to communicate her soul without words. Each spin, each leap, was a silent declaration of who she truly was. In the village, Ego was seen only for her appearance. But there, in the solitude of the forest, she was a stunning ballerina, an artist on her own stage. Dance gave her an identity that no one could take away, a joy that no one could extinguish. Even though life outside the forest was filled with challenges and disappointments, Ego found hope in each secret practice. Dance was her escape, her therapy, and above all, her way of remembering that happiness was still possible. Amid adversity, Ego discovered the inner strength to dance, to dream, and to believe in a better future. Her dance was not just a pastime but a symbol of resilience and hope. Join us on this emotional and inspiring journey as we reveal how Ego's dance transformed her life and led her to unexpected destinations. Don't miss the next chapter of Ego's Dance. In the midst of the brightness and joy of the Grand Village Festival, where stars dance in the sky and drums echo in synchrony with festive hearts, an unexpected love story begins to bloom. Ego, with her hidden passion for dance, finds a small refuge on the outskirts of the celebration. She begins to move, free and graceful, to the rhythm of the distant music. But this time, she's not completely alone. Aaron, a young man from a neighboring village, lost in the maze of festivities, is drawn to Ego's enchanting movements. Without hesitation, he grabs his drum and begins to accompany the rhythm of her dance, creating a harmony that captivates both their hearts. With each beat of the drum, a new friendship begins to form. For Ego, Aaron's music is an unexpected support, a connection that offers her courage and joy. And for Aaron, Ego's dance is a revelation, a beauty that transcends any appearance. As the days pass, their encounters become more frequent. In every conversation, in every shared laugh, the friendship between Ego and Aaron grows stronger. Aaron's drum and Ego's dance become symbols of a deep and true connection. The bonds they create are forged in joy and mutual understanding. They share dreams, hopes, and above all, genuine acceptance of each other. The friendship, shaped by music and dance, begins to turn into something deeper. And so, amid the drumbeats and dance steps, an unexpected love blossoms. A love that defies expectations and surpasses appearances, uniting two souls that find themselves in a place of pure joy and acceptance. Join us to witness the exciting journey of Ego and Aaron, a tale of love, music, and dance that transcends borders and prejudices. Don't miss the next chapter of Ego and Erin's love. In a moment of apparent calm, the peaceful villages were struck by an invisible storm. An airborne disease swept the land, bringing fear and uncertainty. Borders closed, and silence took over where there had once been laughter and festivities. Ego, the princess with a dancing heart, was one of the most affected. Her health deteriorated rapidly, and the vigor she found in dance seemed to escape her. The disease spared no one, but for Ego, it meant a desperate battle for life. As the days passed, the illness stole not only her energy but also her appetite. The food that once brought her comfort now became a struggle. And so, the weight that had tormented her so much began to disappear. After months of struggle and intensive care, the cure finally arrived. Ego emerged from the darkness of the disease, not only recovered but transformed. Her body was slim, her appearance attractive, something she had never imagined possible. For Ego, it was like looking at a stranger in the mirror. The change was not only physical but also in how others saw her. The girl who was once avoided and mocked now attracted looks of admiration and desire. Rich and influential men, who once ignored her, now lined up to court her. They saw only the new appearance, not the painful journey she had endured to get there. For Ego, it was a new reality, full of opportunities but also unexpected challenges. Amidst the attention and compliments, Ego found herself in a dilemma. She had wished to be seen and loved, but now questioned the intentions of those around her. Was this new appearance the key to true love, or just a passing illusion? Ego learned that true beauty goes beyond appearances. Her journey of recovery and transformation led her to a new phase of life, where the greatest challenge would be finding someone who loved her essence, just as Erin had done. Join us in the continuation of this touching story as Ego navigates the turbulent waters of her new reality and seeks true love and acceptance. Don't miss the next chapter of Ego's transformation. After her recovery, Ego emerged as a new woman. The illness that nearly defeated her also transformed her. Now slim and admired, she felt the power of her new appearance. But with this change, also came a new attitude. Erin, the man who supported her in the darkest moments, eagerly awaited to see her. He was still the same, with his generous heart and charming music. But when Ego appeared, something was different. Ego, feeling superior and powerful, looked at Erin with disdain. Where there was once gratitude and friendship, now there was arrogance and contempt. Erin smiled, starting to play his drum for her, but was interrupted by an impatient gesture from Ego. Stop that music, Erin. I am no longer interested in your simplistic beats. Erin was stunned. The woman he had loved and supported now rejected him cruelly. But the revelation that followed was even more surprising. What Ego didn't know was that Erin was more than he appeared. He was a disguised prince, who had chosen to live among the people to better understand his future kingdom. Ego, I am Prince Erin, heir to one of the 4 great villages. I chose to support and love you for who you are, not for your appearance. But Ego's pride and vanity spoke louder. She scorned Erin, preferring the attention of the rich and influential suitors who now surrounded her. Intoxicated by her newfound popularity, Ego ignored the true love that was right in front of her. She sought only the superficial glow of others' adulation, without realizing the treasure she had lost. Erin, with a heavy heart, withdrew. He had offered Ego true love and unconditional support, but she chose the illusion of vanity. The prince returned to his kingdom, leaving Ego to face the consequences of her choices. This is a lesson about the true value of love and the superficiality of appearances. Join us in the continuation of this captivating story, as we explore Ego's fate and the choices that shape her future. Don't miss the next chapter of The Consequences of Ego's Pride. Determined to find a husband worthy of her new appearance, Ego decided to organize a grand competition. The finest warriors, traders, and nobles from neighboring villages were invited to compete for her heart. To ensure she was at her best, Ego dedicated months to preparations, receiving the finest beauty treatments and planning every detail of the event. But, with renewed confidence, also came complacency. As the preparations continued, Ego began to indulge in her old eating habits again. The food, which was once a source of comfort, now threatened to undo all the transformation she had achieved. With each passing day, Ego's weight began to return, slowly but inevitably. She couldn't resist the pleasures of the table, and before she knew it, she was reverting to her old self. The long-awaited day of the competition finally arrived. The square was filled with noble and powerful men, all eager to win the heart of the king's daughter. But when Ego appeared, the shock was evident. The men, who had been drawn by the promise of beauty and elegance, were surprised to see that Ego had returned to her previous weight. Murmurs of disappointment and confusion began to spread through the crowd. Disappointed and feeling deceived, the suitors began to withdraw, one by one, until the square, once filled with hope and excitement, emptied. Ego, once again, found herself alone and ashamed. In an instant, all of Ego's dreams crumbled. The competition that was supposed to be a milestone of her triumph turned into a bitter lesson about the superficiality and fickle nature of appearance-based adoration. As she made her way back home, Ego finally understood that a person's true value is not in appearance, but in essence. She had ignored those who genuinely loved her and been deluded by empty promises. This is a story of self-discovery and redemption. Join us in the next part of this thrilling journey as Ego faces the consequences of her choices and seeks true happiness. Don't miss the next chapter of Ego's redemption. Amidst the crowd gathered for the grand competition, all eyes were on an unexpected figure. Aaron, who once played drums in secret, was now dressed in royal attire, revealing his true identity as a prince. Ego, who had previously scorned Aaron, was paralyzed. She never imagined that the man who supported her in the darkest moments was, in fact, a prince. The revelation was a deep blow to her heart. With a steady gaze and a heavy heart, Aaron approached Ego. He loved her for who she was, not for what she had become. But the rejection and contempt he had suffered changed everything. Ego, I truly loved you. But your heart has been lost to superficiality. My path now lies elsewhere. Aaron turned away and began to walk away, leaving Ego behind. The emptiness of his departure was unbearable, and she realized she had lost the best opportunity for true love she ever had. Ego remembered the moments shared with Aaron, the laughter, the dances, and the unconditional support. Each memory was a painful reminder of what she had lost because of her pride. As Aaron rode away on his horse, Ego knew she would never find someone like him again. Her life took a different turn, a path of regret and loneliness. Years passed, and Ego became the 10th wife of an old chief. Although surrounded by wealth and status, she never found true happiness or genuine love. The glow of her youth and the arrogance of her pride led her to a bitter fate. Ego's story is a powerful reminder of the choices we make and the consequences we face. True beauty and genuine love go beyond appearances. Don't miss the next installment of our series, where we explore more profound lessons of life and love.